What are the pros and cons of living in Snohomish? And when I say Snohomish, I mean the city. In this video, I'm going to break down for you as a local exactly what makes Snohomish awesome. And I'm also going to share with you very openly what makes it not so awesome in some ways as well. Overall, I think Snohomish is one of the best places to live in all of Snohomish County. It's super desirable for some of the reasons I'm going to share with you today. And it's a very, very cool area that's got massive growth over the last 5 to 7 years in particular. Okay. So before we jump into that though, let's talk about the location of Snohomish. Snohomish is about 9 miles away from Everett. So Everett is to the west of Snohomish. And so it's not a bad commute if you're going to work at Boeing or other big employers in Everett. Not a bad place to live. It's about 25 miles north of Bellevue. So you've seen a lot of growth in Snohomish over the last 5 to 7 years, like I was saying. A lot of that growth has come from people migrating from the east side up into Monroe and into Snohomish. And so that's got some pluses to it. It's got some minuses as well, as far as how it's impacted the city of Snohomish itself. But I just want to frame the location for you, because that really explains why this growth has happened at such a dynamic rate in Snohomish over the last couple of years in particular. It's a very desirable location with that proximity to Everett and also over to the east side. Before we jump into the pros and cons though, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and get alerted as we put up new videos. We try to do a new video each week, breaking down for you different parts of Snohomish County, awesome places to live, awesome neighborhoods, things that you want to know about if you're evaluating Snohomish County as a possible place to make a move to. My name is Mike Novak. I'm the team leader for the Novak Real Estate Team, part of Real Brokerage. But today, I'm not your real estate agent. I am your city guide. Let's break it down. Starting with the pros, let's start with the positive side of things. Obviously, the location is a huge win when it comes to Snohomish. I kind of framed earlier in this video the distance to get to Everett, the distance to Bellevue. Seattle's not that far either. It's a super desirable location. You can also pop up over Highway 2, very, very quick access to Highway 2 from Snohomish, and you can get over to Stevens Pass to go skiing. You can go over the mountains to the east side very quickly. Leavenworth is about a 2-hour drive from Snohomish. So Highway 2 literally touches and goes right through the middle of Snohomish. And that's obviously a major highway that connects a lot of things together. 522 also connects in Monroe, and Monroe and Snohomish are obviously very close together, and that takes you kind of down towards the east side. So you have multiple options on how to get to the east side. But one of the big pros is absolutely, without question, the location of Snohomish. It's super central, but it's also kind of a little bit out there and a little bit rural. It's a hard combination to find. That's one of the reasons people really love it. I see a lot of comparisons and hear comparisons from people between North Bend, Arlington, and Snohomish. They all kind of have similar downtown vibes. They're all rural, but kind of up and coming towns. Snohomish has definitely been discovered. So is North Bend. I feel like Arlington's kind of still maybe a little bit undiscovered compared to those other two, but Snohomish has definitely caught on over the last 5 years. And for good reason. I mean, the location is absolutely the second big pro. Obviously, it's the downtown area. It's got an old school, legit main street in downtown Snohomish, full of shopping, full of restaurants, just a very fun place to go hang out. And it's right off the river too. It can be tough to find parking down there on weekends or in the evenings, but just park, ways away and walk in there from one of the side streets shouldn't be a problem at all. But there's lots of great restaurants. Some of our favorite restaurants in Snohomish, the Rep is in downtown Snohomish. Make sure you make a reservation. It gets super busy there, but it's a great date night location, and it's right off the main street area there. There's also multiple wine tasting rooms and a distillery right in downtown Snohomish as well. There's a great Mexican restaurant right off the main street also. So there's lots of places to kind of bounce around to. Usually my wife and I go out for date night in Snohomish. We don't just go to one place. We go to like 3 or 4 of them and just have a little snack and a glass of wine or a cocktail at each of them and just kind of experience all these different fun places. Also want to give a shout out to Trails End Tap House and Restaurant. It's off the Centennial Trail. It's not in downtown. It's over by the Aquatic Center. In my opinion, definitely one of the best restaurants in Snohomish. Really good scratch-made food. Their pizza's fantastic. They've got like 50 tap beers there. They've got some great steaks, killer mac and cheese, just really high-quality food. Like if you like good sandwiches, they're great for that too. Check out Trails End. Again, it can get super busy. I don't think they take reservations, but you can join their wait list online, which is really helpful just because it gets super busy there. Go early if you can, just because it's not a huge place. But check out Trails End if you're looking for an awesome place to go out to eat near Snohomish. But the downtown area, without question, one of the biggest things that people absolutely love about Snohomish. The third big thing that people love about Snohomish is the acreage opportunities. You can still buy acreage in Snohomish, not just postage stamp size properties, but like legit, like horse properties, lots of acreage, 1 acre, 5 acres, 20 acres. You can find that all in Snohomish. You're going to pay for it, of course. I'll talk about home prices a little bit later on in the video on the con side of things. But if you want acreage and you want to be close to the city, it is totally possible with Snohomish. That's definitely a big reason people move out there. They want to have a property on a couple of acres or just 1 acre. They don't want to be right up next to their neighbors in the subdivision, but they also kind of want to be closer to the city. Snohomish is definitely worth checking out. The fourth big thing that people love about Snohomish, and definitely on the pros side of things, is a lot to do with kids. Like if you've got a family, Snohomish is a lot of fun. Just some of our family's favorite things to do in Snohomish I wanted to share with you because I think they're going to resonate with you as a family as well. Obviously, the Aquatic Center. The Aquatic Center is lights out fun. Like it's just really cool. It's fun to go to on the weekend. They have a cool, like busy, lazy river going on. They've got places for little kids, places for bigger kids. There's just a lot to do there, and my kids absolutely love it. Like if we want to take them on a really fun Saturday excursion, we'll take them out to the Aquatic Center, and then after they get, all their energy ran off and they're starving, take them right across the street to Trails End Tap House and fuel back up with some delicious food. So the Aquatic Center is definitely one of the things that people love. There's also a lot of farms. And when I say farms, there's like things happening at these farms. There's always something happening, whether it's like a pumpkin patch, corn mazes, whatever, down kind of by like Marsh Road and Highway 9. That's where most of them are at. But there's movies that go on there at nights and stuff. There's just a lot to do in the farm areas of Snohomish. And some of those farms have really capitalized on the opportunity to take these amazing properties they have and make them entertaining in lots of different ways. So a lot of them have different things going on every month, and it's a lot of fun for the kids. We also have Centennial Trail rather. It cuts right through Snohomish. Again, it takes you right into the Trails End Tap House. Super cool trail to hop on a bike with the kids and just bike around. Lots of really cool things to see off the Centennial Trail in Snohomish, and definitely something the family's going to love doing. It's busy on the weekends, of course, or on a nice sunny day, but it's busy for a very good reason. Awesome. You also have Snohomish Golf Center, which is really cool. It's off the Marsh Road area there. And it's got a driving range. It's got a miniature putt-putt course, and they've got, a restaurant, bar, really a fun place to go hang out. Like our real estate team, we'll go over there for happy hour every couple of months or so and just go hang out, hit some balls and drink some beers together. Really a fun place to hang, very family friendly. Bring the kids. Kids love miniature golf there. Again, it gets really busy sometimes, but it can be a really fun place to hang out. So Snohomish Golf, definitely worth checking out also. Okay, let's talk about some of the negatives, the cons to living in Snohomish. Without question, traffic can be one of them. Highway 9 and the arterials off of Highway 9 can back up really bad kind of like all over Snohomish, basically. Like Highway 9 cuts right through Snohomish, and it can back up on Marsh Road. It can back up on the Larimer Road. It can back up all over the place. So just be aware of that. Like those kind of acreage farm areas down by Marsh Road get super busy. The road to the airport can get backed up. So just plan if you're going through there between like 4 and 6 p.m. There's going to be some pretty heavy traffic because a lot of people are using that to get back home. Maybe they're coming from Everett or from down south, and they're using Highway 9 or those arterials like Marsh or Low Larimer to get back to where they're trying to go. It can be frustrating just because you're sitting at the stoplight there for what seems like forever. And it's definitely just something you want to be aware of. It's not as bad when you're not off 9. Like if you're out in Snohomish, like deeper Snohomish, you're not going to see much traffic. But Highway 9 definitely backs up in lots of different areas during that rush hour when everyone's trying to get back home. And also sometimes in the morning, people are trying to get out to work. So be aware of the traffic if you're thinking about making a move to Snohomish. Another negative, which can also kind of be a positive, is there's an airport in Snohomish. So if you don't love the sound of planes coming and going, you're not going to like this. There's little Cessnas taking off from there all the time. There's actually parachuting school out of Snohomish, the airport there. So there's people going up there jumping out all the time. It's kind of fun to watch. I think it's entertaining. You go down to the airport, go sit out on the deck out there and watch people parachuting in. But if you don't love the sound of planes, you're not going to love this. You don't have to deal with it if you go to like North Snohomish out by like the Three Lakes area. But just be aware, like down by Highway 9 and kind of the downtown area, you're going to continually hear the buzz of planes. So if that annoys you and you don't want to be around that, definitely don't buy a property that's anywhere close to the downtown area or anywhere close to the airport. That brings me to another possible negative. And like every negative, there's some positive angles to it as well. But Snohomish goes really deep. Okay, so when you get out to like the Three Lakes area, Lake Rossinger, Flowing Lake, all those areas, you're really deep in Snohomish. Sometimes you don't have great cell phone service and you're a long ways from services. So people love that for the solitude and the privacy, but it's just something you want to be aware of if you want to have like quick access to shopping, you want to have great cell phone service. You're not going to find that in some of those areas. You're going to be like, 20 minutes out of downtown Snohomish, just because Snohomish is such a big area. It touches up to Granite Falls. It goes out to Monroe. It goes super, super deep. So just be aware of that. Again, this can be a positive for some people, but it's also a negative, just depending on if your expectations are to have services closer to you, have great cell phone service, things like that. So just be aware of how deep Snohomish goes, and in particular in the Flowing Lake, Lake Rossinger, and Three Lakes area. All right, the last negative, and I don't think there's anything positive about this one, it's home prices. Snohomish City home prices are expensive. It's still much cheaper than living in Bellevue, but the average home price as of the shooting of this video, which is June 2023, $983,000. So it's expensive. It's not for everybody. It's quite a bit higher than, say, Arlington, like a couple $100,000 higher. So just be aware of that. Okay. So if you can afford it, not a big deal. It's more expensive too, because there's a lot more acreage property. So that drives the average price up for sure. But you just need to be aware that home prices are not cheap here. Finding something that's really great on acreage under $1 million can be very challenging to do in Snohomish. Some of the homes go all the way up to $3 million. If they're on big acreage properties, lots of square footage, nicely built homes. Shops obviously drive up price as well. There's lots of shops in Snohomish. There's lots of riding arenas, barns, all these outbuildings. All those things just drive that average price up. So $983,000, which is a pretty stiff payment if you're not putting a lot of money down. So just be aware, if value is important to you, Snohomish might not be the place for you. If you're willing to pay for it, to have that amazing location and all those amenities I talked about earlier, then it could maybe be worth it. It's just something you have to be aware of. So those are the pros and cons of living in Snohomish. I'd love to hear from you on what you think the benefits and also maybe some of the disadvantages of living out in Snohomish are. Definitely throw those in the comments below. Everyone's got their own opinion. I want to hear what yours is. When you're thinking about buying or selling real estate, reach out to me direct. My contact information is down below.